Jack Black's character Jonathan is more obsessed with clocks in this movie than Doc Brown was in Back to the Future. The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Directed by Eli Roth, the man that directed Hostile and Green Inferno. Starring Jack Black, Cate Blanchett, Owen Vaccaro, Kyle MacLachlan, Renee Elise Goldsberry, who is Eli's wife, Sonny Suljic, and Vanessa Ann Williams. This movie, which is very Goosebumps light, is about a boy by the name of Louis, who is an orphan. He has lost both his parents, and he is going to live with his uncle Jonathan, played by Jack Black. This movie's set in the 1950s, so Louis goes to live with his uncle Jonathan in a new town with a new school. He meets Jonathan's friend Florence, played by Cate Blanchett. Both of them are very eccentric, very weird people. So weird that when Louis meets his uncle Jonathan, he is wearing a kimono. When Louis comes to Jonathan's home, he sees the stained glass window, looks like it's moving and occasionally changes images. And through the course of the movie, he finds out that his uncle is a warlock. He knows how to do magic. Florence is a witch who also knows how to do magic. And Louis becomes their apprentice. There is a clock in Jonathan's home that is driving Jonathan crazy, and he wants to find out where this clock is in his home. He doesn't know where the clock is. It's counting down to something terrible that's going to happen. Apparently the villain of the movie, played by Kyle MacLachlan, Louis Izzard, has put this clock in Jonathan's home. And Jonathan's trying to find out where the clock is in his home, but he can't find out where it is. Meanwhile, Louis makes friends with a boy by the name of Tarby, but Tarby at the same time bullies him. So Louis doesn't know how to keep this friendship with Tarby, even though Tarby is tormenting him. And if I say anything more about this movie, I'll be spoiling it. So let's talk about this movie, talk about the positives and the negatives. Now, when I saw the movie, I was getting very much a Goosebumps vibe because the lead actor is Jack Black, and Jack did play R.L. Stine in the Goosebumps movie. So was this going to be like a Goosebumps-like movie? And it is kind of like a Goosebumps-like movie. It is obviously a movie that is for older children, children that are like 10 and up perhaps. The special effects in this movie are very good, surprisingly, considering the director, who is a guy that directed a very scary movie called Hostile and a movie about cannibalism, Green Inferno. Two movies that I did not see. I never saw the movie Hostile, and I'm not a fan of cannibalism horror, so that's why I didn't see Green Inferno. But I was curious about this movie, and I really like this movie a lot. Jack Black and Cate Blanchett are excellent in the movie. They have great friendship chemistry. The boy that plays Louis, Owen Vaccaro, is great in the film. I did like Kyle MacLachlan as the villain, and his Bonnie, if you want to make a Bonnie and Clyde kind of comparison. Renee Elise Goldsberry is also very good in the movie. Sonny Suljic, who is going to be the lead character in Jonah Hill's directorial debut, mid-90s, can be coming out soon, plays Tarby. And I thought he was pretty good in the movie as well. As for Vanessa Ann Williams, I'm going to be talking about her character in the negatives, unfortunately, even though I do think she's a very good actress. The special effects are very good. The story is pretty well written. Let's talk about the negatives of this film. The negatives, first off, the occasional poop and urine humor that we have in this movie in order to try to appeal to the younger crowd. I think it is very easy to appeal to children without going to poop and urine jokes. I don't think it's really necessary to do something like that. You can do humor without doing poop jokes and piss jokes. It's really not necessary. There is a hedge griffin that comes alive in the movie, and the running gag with this griffin is that the griffin occasionally will poop out leaves, and Jack Black will say, "Use the litter box." I was thinking that there are a lot of other things you could do with a living hedge griffin rather than a running gag like that. You could make the griffin be an animal that is used in the climax of the movie to attack the villain, or to attack the heroes if the villain somehow gains control of the griffin, perhaps, or something like that. Or make some better jokes with the griffin other than poop jokes, really. That's kind of stupid to me. As for the problem with Vanessa Ann Williams, she really doesn't get that much character development in the movie. And I actually liked her character. I wanted her character to be a bit more developed and to be used more in this film, and she is barely used in this movie. I was thinking that if she was part of the climax of the film, it would have been a bit more interesting. The climax was very interesting anyway, but it might have been more interesting if this little girl was part of it. But she's not part of the climax, unfortunately, and I was a little disappointed by that. Despite the flaws of this movie, I really liked it. I was very surprised at how well Jack Black and Cate Blanchett worked together in this movie. And I definitely like how unique the boy is, even though his main characteristic is that he has a fascination with dictionaries and what the different words are in the dictionary and their definitions. I also like the special effects in the movie. Some of the special effects are not all that good, but the special effects with the pumpkins and the hedge griffin looked very good. There was a scene where dolls and statues come alive that was very creepy in the movie that I really liked too. So overall, this movie was very good and did a very good job of being spooky and creepy, but not too spooky and creepy for children, at least older children really. This movie wouldn't be good for younger children that are below the age of 10, but children that are 10 and up would like this movie, I think. There was a child behind me when I was watching this film, and he seemed to like the movie. And a couple of other children I saw in the theater said that they liked the movie too. So I'm going to give this movie a B+. I definitely think people should check this movie out and take your kids to see it. And that's all I gotta say for the movie that's not Goosebumps, The House with the Clock in the Walls.